You it's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're gonna be going over and talking about something that really is bugging me in NBA 2K24 My Team. And look, I think there's a ton of positives with the player market. I do. I think the player market in general has made it way easier and cheaper to have the best team in the game. I actually think it's been really, easy to build budget squads as well with these cards for 4,000 or 10,000 in MT. The problem I see right now is that there is absolutely no in between. There's no in between balling on a budget and being all money spent. And I think that's one thing that 2K needs to figure out a way to bridge the gap to make this just my team in general something that fits everybody. Let's talk about what I'm meaning. The cards between like 100,000 MT and 10,000 MT. Let's talk about those cards right now that we have in my team. And I'm not even going to include deal of the day Rudy because normally we don't have a deal of the day like that. Your options are Sebastian Telfair, Emeka Okafor, Darius Miles. Again, all these cards too expensive. Dikembe Mutombo, Dennis Rodman, as well as Jordan Poole. Those three. Again, Dikembe is good, but the rest of them, I mean, okay. These cards, too expensive. These cards, too cheap. These cards, again, your cards, Jalen Green, Scoot Henderson, bona fide scrubs that can't play. They're horrible. They're absolutely terrible. Let's keep going forward. OG Anunoby, Darius Garland. These cards too expensive. You got all these amethysts that are just so mid, not worth that MT either. There's just nothing here to look at. And that's my whole point. We're a month and a half ago, and even these amethysts. You got Elgin Baylor, James Worthy, Jason Kidd. These cards, I'm going to say it right now. The cards for 10,000 MT, you can build a better squad of than the cards from, 10 to 100,000 MT. And that's a big time problem in my opinion. And I get they want to keep all of the tiers the same price. They want to do this, they want to do that. And that's fine. But there has to be some bridge in between being no money spent and all money spent. Even for my no money spent squad series, I would love to pick up a card today that's like in between a guy, let's say like Jonathan Bender, and a guy like Dikembe Mutombo, like in that in between stage, maybe a little better than Bender, a little worse than Mutombo for 25,000 MT. I would love that. Guess what? I can't. The only thing I can do is continue to build with these cheap 10,000 MT players, and then eventually maybe save up for a big time player for over 100,000 MT. That's what we're doing right now. And again, I don't think it's all bad with the player market. I actually think there are a lot of positives. But when it comes down to it, there's no in between stage. And that is something that absolutely bugs me. Even when I was making my best player at each price, when I got to 50,000 MT, thank gosh for Dikembe Mutombo. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. When I get to under 75,000 MT, I had to scroll back 2 months to find this Cade Cunningham that fit what I wanted. There's just no really solid players for just an average price, and that is a big time thing. And the only players that are like that are players that we got months ago that have finally went down to that price. Nobody wants a guy like Nick Young 2 months later. Nobody wants a guy, let's say even like a James Worthy 2 months later if when he goes down in price. Nobody wants those cards 2 months later. It's just not fun. Same thing for even like if we can get to like Aaron Gordon, Corey McGinnis. Nobody wants those cards anymore. They might have been hype when they came out, but at this stage nobody wants those cards. Nobody cares about those cards. And again, you guys might not think it's a big deal, but I do. We need an in-between stage. So what does that mean for this upcoming season? Well, what I would like to see is maybe if you give us a 10 card drop. Okay, simple. Give us 2 emeralds, 2 sapphires, 2 rubies, 2 amethysts, 2 diamonds, and then 2 pink diamonds. Make it a 12 card set, and then give us emeralds for 2,000 MT, sapphires for 5,000 MT, rubies for 10,000 MTs. Make amethyst next season 25,000 MT, diamonds maybe I don't know, 75,000 MT, whatever you want to do, but then make some diamonds cheaper, some diamonds more expensive. Make some Ammies cheaper, some Ammies more expensive. Depends on how good they are, and go from there. We should not have every Ammy in the game being 80,000 MT. We shouldn't have and yes, they've came down a little recently. We shouldn't have every single ruby be the exact same price. They should be different. Otherwise, it's just no fun when it comes to building your squad. Because even, again, for me, sure, I'm building building a decent budget squad. I have 78,000 MT. I could complete my budget squad and be just fine. But there is no bridge between this squad in between picking up, the best player for 100,000 MT, which, D-Rob, or, even a guy like Devin Booker. You're going to either have to spend or really ball on a budget. There's no in between. And that's something that bugs me, because a lot of times, even last year or with the auction house, there'd be, these really solid players, and you'd be able to swap out your 20K player for a 50K player and then just slowly evolve and improve your squad. There's none of that this year. And obviously the player market tax is a problem, but I think the biggest problem is there's no just median for anything. It's either cheap or expensive. There's no in between. There's no just mediocre price tags. Even these cards for 42,000 MT, I'm loving. I'm absolutely loving them. And even though I didn't buy any of these cards because I don't think they're good, like a Dikembe for 42,000 MT, I think is super important for the game. You can get a top 5 center in the game right now for 42,000 MT. Is he going to be Chet? Is he going to be Wemby? No. But he's somebody you can pick up for 42,000 MT that could compete at the highest level. That's a big step up over a guy like Claxton or Mitchell Robinson. Those are the things I'm wanting for season 4 in my team, that I think if they add to the player market could actually I'm just going to say it like this. It could actually have so much potential, because even for me, yesterday, I don't love Adam Morrison. He's fine, whatever. But I bought him, did gameplays with him. That's fine. But the problem is, like, outside of, if you want to lock in this set, awesome. But outside of that, it's budget baller set. That's it. There's like, even these cards. Again, if these cards were better, whatever, I don't have a problem with it. But there's no in between from 42,000 MT to 157,000 MT. That's crazy. And again, I get it. Let's say you drop a good amethyst in this. Let's say Darius Miles would have had a better release. Okay, if let's say with Darius Miles, let's say you had the Terrence Mann base or something, just for the sake of this. Okay, make him 70,000 MT. Make Sebastian Telfair 25,000 MT. Then when we look at the diamonds, figure out what diamond you think's the worst. Make Grant Hill 120,000 MT. Make, if you think Kwame Brown's the best, 180,000 MT. Whatever you got to do. These cards do not always need to be the same price. The more diversity in the price tags, I think the better off we are going to be as a community, just to give us different options. Because again, everybody asks me all the time, Ty, I have 50,000 MT. Who should I pick up at the point guard position? I don't know. Who for 50,000 MT right now is the best point guard in the game? I'll let you guys do the math on that. Because I really don't know. Are you guys picking up, a guy like Pat Bev, Jalen Suggs? Like, who is the best point guard for 50,000 MT? Because, I mean, there's no in between. So you really got to find a Ruby who is like that at the point guard position. Otherwise, it's just going to be a tough go. So I think that's the one thing I'm struggling right now with my team, and even me being no money spent. Look, I'll say it. I think it's easier to be no money spent and build a solid squad than it has ever before. But on the flip side of that, I also think it's hard to really make that squad good, not great. So let's say you build a solid squad, right? A good no money spent squad. Like let's say my starting lineup was just as good as my bench. Let's say I had my bench filled up. It is going to be hard to upgrade that. That's what I'm getting at. Like, sure, it's easy to build a budget squad, but where do you go from there if you want to be no money spent? That's the problem I'm struggling with, because there's just no options right now outside of me picking up Dikembe Mutombo. That would be the only option I have right now in my team to make my squad better. Otherwise, everybody else over 80,000 MT, and they're not even good for that price tag either. The guys that are good, you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of MT on, like a D-Rob, 160,000 MT. A Luka, 200,000 MT, even a D'Lo, 157,000 MT, Kwame Brown, 157,000 MT. There's no gap for like 70,000 MT. None. I mean, the only card I got for 70,000 MT right now is a card that came out months ago. I think that's a big time problem in my team. And if it's something that's not addressed, it's going to push people away, because what am I looking forward to on my no money spent squad too? Obviously adding Chet, maybe picking up Dikembe, but then what? Like, yeah, filling it out with 10K players, sure, but there's only a limit to how much I truly can do. And that's something that bugs me, compared to if there was a really good card right now, solid card for 50,000 MT that was different, or 75,000 MT that was new and really good, then maybe I'd be going for them. But there's just not right now in my team. And that is something that definitely does bug me that little bit. But let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. Let me know if I'm crazy. If you guys don't think this is a problem, again, let me know that down below in the comments. It's just something that's been on my mind. Again, when I made the best player at each price video today, I'm like, man, this stinks. We need more for the community, more for the game, and it's not that difficult. Let me know your thoughts. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.